Rush Duel is a fast-paced spin-off game of Yu-Gi-Oh! Where you can summon as many monsters as you want and draw up to 5 cards each turn. In this series, me and the TheDrAlex progress through each Rush Duel product release and build decks with whatever cards were available at that time. We have been drafting characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's anime and have exclusive access to those characters' boss monsters, and will continue to draft characters from the Yu-Gi-Oh! Go Rush series. Join us as we continue to battle it out in this series, Rush Duel Character Draft. Transamu of Transcendence was released February 10th, 2023, and introduces us to 2 new archetypes, Dice and Prime. I will receive the new Dice cards including Dice Arc Swordsman, Dice Archangel, Dice Arc Demon, and Dice Might Girl Chiori. I will also receive new Jointech support including Jointech Nestridar Tank, Darkness Jointech Tyrant, and Jointech Tridynabase. Finally, I'll receive the following assorted boss monsters: Secret Base Guardian Mishawk, 7 Sphere Magician, Jinzo the Machine Menace, Jinzo Amplified, Deity of the 7 Treasures Ryozai, Celebro's Influences, Murin Duke the Shadow Flower Wave, Nelkrita the Sky Savior Hadal, and Swift Gaia the Dragon Champion. Alex will receive the new Prime cards, including Prime Clawgirl, Prime Track Tiger, Prime Bandijo, Prime Dean Keto, Prime Pierce Giant, Prime Cat Strania, Transamu Prime Armor Nova, and Transamu Prime Full Armor Nova. He will also receive the following boss monsters: Black Skull Dragon, Abyss Slayer Quintiamat, Can STD, Super Graphagus Archer, Prophecy Flail of the Colors of the Wind, Butterflies and Flowers, and Transamu Velja Rhynak. So this is the deck we're bringing to today's game. This is Jinzo. Now, Jinzo is a deck I'm actually really excited to play. I've always been a big fan of Jinzo, and we've always been a big fan of the machines. And Jinzo is just a really, really cool one to just stop all trap cards. It's like, it is a floodgate, but it tends to stop the more... I mean, trap cards are usually the most controversial cards. Like, trap decks people generally don't like playing against. So I've always found Jinzo to be an acceptable floodgate. But we did get some new support cards for it, such as Jinzo the Machine Menace, which is if a player has a trap card in the graveyard, you can special summon this card from your hand face up to your field, which again, cheating out a 2400 monster is always going to be really good. But we can send it from our field to the graveyard, special summon a Jinzo from our graveyard face up to our field, and then destroy all of our opponent's trap cards, which is really cool. So we can bring back our Jinzo, but also we can bring back Jinzo Amplified as its name becomes Jinzo while in the graveyard. This card we can send top card of a deck to the graveyard, cannot be destroyed by opponent's trap card effects, which is decent, but also you can make this card gain attack. So it's kind of like a weirdly adjacent Mirror Innovator, but arguably worse and arguably better in some ways. I do think it's just really cool to be able to have this, because ideally we mill this, and then we use Menace to get back Amplified, pop all our opponent's trap cards, and then get a power boost, which seems pretty good. To go with it, we've got the Raptor to try and get cards into the graveyard. We have our Steel Soldier, which is a coin tossing effect, which means we can get it back using our Machine PG. We have our Bolt Tricorn to be able to turn off our opponent's back row, which can be really, really important. We don't really be running into like a Magic Cylinder. Crafted Drone for consistency. Then we have the Jinzo Returner, which is a really, really cool one. We can send this face-up card from our field to the graveyard to press summon Jinzo from our graveyard. So what that does mean is, if we basically are able to just get a load of our Jinzo stuff into the graveyard, we can use this to either bring back our regular Jinzo, or we can bring back Machine Menace, which in turn will bring back regular Jinzo or Amplified and pop all of our opponent's back row, which is really, really good. Then we have Jinzo 7.7, which is just here to get back Machine Inspector. Machine Inspector is a new kind of consistency card. Each player excavates the top 4 cards of their deck. You can send up to 2 excavated machine type monsters and or trap cards to the graveyard. Each player places the remaining cards on the bottom of the deck in any order. Then if you send a trap card to the graveyard, draw 1 card. And that's why we're on so many trap cards, because we need traps in the graveyard to trigger Machine Menace's effect, and we need traps milled with Machine Inspector to get its extra draw, which turns it into a consistency card rather than just a self-milling card. Then we just stuck a load of traps in, loads of generic ones, Battle Demotion obviously being the clear, obvious machine support one. And then our other legends, Mirror Force and Graceful Charity, because Graceful Charity just, again, we want to get our Jinzos into the graveyard, and Mirror Force because I think everyone's kind of a little bit sick of Magic Cylinder, so we're just going to keep bringing this one because this is probably the next best one. And then in the side deck, we have some other tools that we might be able to go into, including our other legend cards, depending on the matchup, because some cards can't be destroyed by traps, therefore we want to bring in the Magic Cylinder, and some cards will destroy cards on entering the battlefield, so we're going to want to use Torrential Tribute to get rid of them. So this is the deck. We're feeling actually pretty good about this. Jinzo does seem really, really strong, so I'm actually quite looking forward to this game. Let's fire on in and see what Alex has got for us. last week we had the first matchup of our, I forget what the set's called, it's like Transamu of Transcendence or Transience or something. Anyway, we had our first matchup. We had the Dice versus the Sea Serpent Maximum, which was, I want to say, a little bit lopsided. The Dice deck still felt okay, but obviously very RNG reliant, whereas the SS Maximum deck is the SS Maximum deck. It's, even in its worst, it's still a decent deck, right? I think in the meta game, it's fallen off a little bit now. It's down to like, you know, tier 3 probably. Maybe there's an argument for low tier 2, but like I think it's fallen off. It's no longer where it was, but maybe with the new support, it feels a little bit stronger than it was. So we'll have to keep an eye on that, I guess, and see how it performs. But going forward, we still have access to a ton of different archetypes. And I think we both actually do. I mean, you still have, what, Psychics. You still have Royal Rebels. You still have the Prime cards. I think there's something I'm forgetting in there, but I can't remember. As for me, I've still got, what, Secret Investigators, Jinzo, Gaia. There's some new fairy stuff. There's new Celeb Rose. There's new plants. There's also new... there is one new Sky Savior fusion, which I'm still not sure how I feel about Sky Saviors, because after losing one of their key main deck monsters, that deck feels a little bit in struggle streaks. Now, the just consistency is just taking a complete nosedive.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I know you don't like Sky Saviors, but I think the main issue with Sky Saviors are the cards that stop your opponent from playing the game, not the rest of the deck, right? The rest of the deck is kind of fine,
true.
I think. It's the floodgates that kind of cause issues, in my opinion, but yeah, anyway. Yeah, so I'm going to take a shot in the dark. I'm going to guess you are on... let's go Prime. Let's go Prime. Prime would be a cool deck to see. I don't know if you're going to be on it. It looks a bit weird. You don't have all the Prime monsters yet as well. I think you only have, like, 6 or less, like, boss monsters for that deck, so I'm not really sure what's going to go on with that. You got any idea what you think I'm going to be on?
I'm going to guess Jinzo.
Ooh, going for Jinzo. Jinzo is a pretty cool one. We'll have to see if I'm on it. I guess we'll just fire on in and see what we're both on. Wah. Wah. Ah.
Ah.
Right, let's see what you've got for me. Okay, you have a Beast, and that's a Prime Track Tiger.
Yep.
So Animagic Witch is pretty cool because it's basically like the, what's it called? The Bat Eel. Except instead of specifically level 10 maximums, it's level 7 or 8 light attribute effect monsters.
Normal.
So this is the new one.
Enter Prime. Yeah.
So if the only monsters in your graveyard are light attribute, you can reveal a 7 or 8 effect monster from your hand to your opponent, which we know you have, but you also don't have any monsters in your graveyard, so I'm pretty sure you won't be able to use this effect. Send the top 3 cards of your deck to the graveyard, then you can add 1 Prime Armor Nova or Rhynac from your graveyard to your hand.
Thank.
Ooh, it's another one. I'm going to predict. Oh, hello. Contribute some of this card in attack position, contributing 1 or 3 monsters. If you contributed 1 this way, its original attack becomes 1800. Continuous effect. This card that was normal summoned by contributing 3 monsters gains attack equal to the total original levels of the monsters times 100. Okay, so because you got rid of 3 wimpy monsters, he's only a 3k. But you summoned a Blue Eyes White Dragon.
Yeah.
Alright, well, let's start with this. I'm going to activate Machine Inspector.
Hey.
Yes, I would like to send 2 cards. I can send your imaginary actor to the graveyard. Okay, I think we will just be sending these 2 to the grave.
Legend Jinzo and Amplified Jinzo.
Then I'm going to normal summon my Ultimate Flag Beast Bolt Tricorn. If I have no other monsters on my field, I can send the top of my deck to the graveyard. 1 face down spell trap on your opponent's field cannot be activated until the end of your opponent's next turn. We'll do this, and we will hit this, and then we're just going to set a couple of back row and pass back.
Okay. Let's drop Graceful.
That's pretty good.
You and you.
Okay, what do we send? Okay. Into Legend Strike, that's pretty good.
Yes. This.
Ooh.
Oh.
Lost the 50-50 there.
Oh. Yeah. And the other. Prime Dwarf.
So send a monster from your
Activate.
field to the graveyard. Then you can shuffle 3 Lightspeed monsters of different types from your graveyard into the deck. And if you do, you can fusion summon. Uh-oh.
1, 2, we'll put any magical witch. And then fuse.
Okay, so this is going to make... Oh, you could use my monster. Oh, dear.
I have Super Poly on a monster.
On the field. Okay, that's horrendous. Okay. This is worse because well, you had that anyway, so my Mirror Force wouldn't have done anything. But, yeah. It doesn't help that I only had 1 monster, unfortunately.
I'm doing math here. Is this 8?
No. You're 900 off.
Yeah, I can't.
Well, I can't use my back rows, so...
Oh.
Okay. We have been a little bit unlucky here, but maybe we can turn this all. Yeah, let's go next.
Oh.
Hopefully we don't brick that hard again, but we'll have to wait and see. Alright, we will go first, I think. I think we're gonna want those extra cards. Ooh. Alright, we're gonna normal summon out Craft the Drone. We're going to activate its effect, and I'm going to send Jinzo Amplified to Grave. Then I'm going to set... I'm then going to normal summon Slot Machine PG7. Then I'm going to tribute 2 and summon out Jinzo the Machine Menace. So if a player has a trap card in their graveyard, I can summon this card from my hand, which obviously no players do. Send this face-up card from your field to the graveyard, special summon a Jinzo from your graveyard face-up to your field. Then you can look at all face-down cards in your opponent's spell trap card zones, return to the original positions, and then destroy all trap cards.
Damn.
So I could bring back Jinzo Amplified just to mill a card. I don't know if that's worth. I think we'll just leave him as is. I don't know if milling 1 card is going to really do much.
Well, let's see what the old Legend Magic can get us. Yeah, what's that?
That's pretty good since you have a way to recover it.
Monster. Let me imagine Act.
Okay.
Activate Prime Call.
So the only monster in your graveyard with a light attribute, add 1 monster from your graveyard to your hand, then you can add a fusion from your graveyard to your hand. And no monster effects can be activated for the rest of the turn.
The Prime Dwarf.
Alright, let's get that face down.
Ooh. If you have Jinzo on the field, you can't activate trap cards.
Aha, wrong Jinzo! Okay, so I guess I'll start by using its effect, bringing back Jinzo Amplified. I can look at your face down card. Ooh, I know what it is now. Ooh. Okay, what's the next step? I guess we will summon and summon. We'll go ahead and activate Gale Vinery's effect. Tails, which means nothing happens. Then I'm going to tribute both and summon out Jinzo Amplified. And then I'm going to special summon Machine Menace. Then I can activate Amplified's effect to mill a card and then gain attack. And then I can activate the effect again, mill a card, gain attack. And we'll go battle, swing over, and then get in for nearly 6,000 damage. And then we'll pass.
Yikes. Okay.
It's like, yikes. He's like, this is fine.
Ultra.
My hard defense mission.
Good. And the wolf.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have Witch. Reveal Track Tiger. Will you ever summon Track Tiger is the question.
I mean, if you put stuff in defense mode, maybe.
I mean, it has good attack rate.
Yeah, 25's nice.
Wait a minute, that's a Prime Armor Nova.
Indeed. I'm cool.
Okay,
No, it's still okay.
everything is fine. Okay, here he is. Let me make this one.
Another prime bit. This guy special summons Jinzo.
What is the point of his second effect?
It's so that you can't use my monsters in the mirror. It will never come up.
So that just literally just like a mirror thing. Okay.
Yeah, at the moment we only have the one card that can use your opponent's monsters as material.
Hmm.
So I don't know if they're planning on releasing Super Poly as a legend, but we'll
Who
see.
knows? Alright, I think we always go craft the drone. We'll activate the effect, and I will discard Jinzo 7.7 for a card. Ooh. The issue with this is, no matter how I use it, it doesn't get me what I want. Alright, we will summon Gale Vinery. We'll activate its effect. I get a little boost to everyone. We'll set. We'll go ahead and activate Jinzo Amplified. And we'll gain more attack.
Oof.
The issue is, still can't clear both. Piercing doesn't really matter here, so I guess we'll just get rid of this one. And then we'll pass.
Okay.
Ooh. Ow. And ow. Okie dokie. I suppose we'll start with Machine Inspector. Okay. So we will send. I guess it's got to be you. It's you. This is where things are going to get a little funky. I will activate Craft the Drone. Discard the draw. Oh, that.
Oh, joint tap.
Awkward. I guess it's fine, depending. Right, we're just going to go for this, I think. We're going to summon out Joint Tech Raptor. I'm going to activate the effect. Then I'm going to Ribbit 2 and summon out Jinzo Amplified again. Activate its effect. Normal summon Vinery. Activate its effect. Set. Go to battle phase. And then I suppose I will attempt to attack. Yeah, you just always have this card. Unfortunately, I didn't have any other way to get at you, so that's all we've got. Maybe I should have done the other play. It depends on luck, though. I just suppose all of my plays relied on luck. Okay, so Interspell Slime reveals Dienkito.
Grab right now. Flip over Owl Channel. Activate the effect.
Okay.
Normal. 1.
Okay.
Prime Dying Keeper. Activate your effect. Yeah, got a prime call.
Okay.
Activate said prime call.
Okay.
Grab Nova. Yeah. 1, 2.
Alright, we will Crisis here.
Okay. Normal.
Catclaw. Okay.
Get a battle.
Yeah. And that's gonna be it, unfortunately.
Ooh.
Yeah, I really do feel like this was a really poor showing from the Jinzo deck, because I feel like this is gonna sound really weird, but I feel like 9 out of 10 times I should beat you. And I just got really unlucky.
I got very lucky with the draws, I think.
Yeah, it's a weird one.
I tried to cram in as much prime stuff as I could. I think you probably don't run like 2 of most of the boss monsters.
Well, I was sat there for like 3 turns in a row, like, okay, as long as his trap cards aren't anything, I'm fine. And I was like I'm sat here as well, like, my deck has so many ways to get out a Jinzo, or a Jinzo that, like, destroys all your back row, or just Jinzo that turns off all your back row. We just never saw that. So it was a little bit underwhelming, unfortunately. We literally never got to see the Menace effect destroy any trap cards. We never got to see Jinzo Amplified have its immunity. We never actually managed to actually just summon Jinzo. We got it into the graveyard, but after Jinzo went to the graveyard, we never saw any of the Machine Menace. There was a point where I just needed some piercing, and we have 2 copies of the Mirror Innovator, and we just never saw them. And I was just like, I need like the bare minimum that my deck can give to be able to win from this position, and the deck was just like, you know what, nah, we're just not gonna cooperate today. Which is a bit of a shame, because I do think the Jinzo deck is really cool, and I was really hoping to actually show it off a bit more. And obviously I did get you down to like 300 life points very, very quickly. I just couldn't find that little tiny amount I needed to seal the game. What I could have done would have been to summon out both the Jointech Raptors and use their effects. And depending on the cards I hit, I could potentially have got that 300 damage in. But that means just dodging all the spells and traps, which just didn't seem likely, since most of the cards that had already been milled at that point had been monsters. And even my own Jointech Raptor beforehand, I think, milled double trap for me. So that was just, like, not looking great. As for the Prime deck, I don't know. It's a weird... Because it feels weird to say this when the deck's just 2-0'd me. But it doesn't feel very good. I don't know. The cards don't seem particularly strong. The boss monsters don't seem particularly oppressive. They don't have that like air of unfairness about them that a lot of the really strong decks have. Right?
Yeah.
Well, like I look at Prime Armor Nova, and it's like Prime Armor Nova is just a beat stick. It doesn't do anything, right? Pierce Giant is like, it's just a 2500 piercer. Like, Strania is pretty decent, I guess. But it's just 200 attack. Being able to protect from destruction effects is very, very cool, right? Let's not undersell that. But I don't know. It feels like the deck doesn't really have much of an identity at the moment. I actually think the best card in the deck is probably Prime Cool, which you used to great effect in this game. But yeah, I mean, you can even tell just by like the other monsters that were running, right? You're playing things like Owl Channel, which is a bit awkward, right? It's really good into like specifically Magic Cylinder, and obviously if you're playing the Wing Beast stuff.
I mean, it's a one-off because I wanted 10 different monster types.
Yeah,
which is Prime Nova's fusion.
Yeah, which I guess is another weird part of the deck, right? Because obviously you've stuffed in some of the what are they called, Metallians.
Yeah, cyborgs.
Yeah, which, like, it makes sense, right? They're all different type light monsters, but it just goes to show the deck does seem to kind of lack identity. Like, its identity is not having identity, right? Which I suppose is the theme, because the whole point is you're playing everyone else's boss monsters as a Prime variant. So yeah, like I said, it's very weird to be like, oh man, you just 2-0'd me. I still don't like your deck. Like, it feels very strange to be like that. But I'm sure there'll be lots of people that really, really like this style of deck. It's not for me, and I don't see this deck doing particularly well in events. The Jinzo deck, on the other hand, I think could top some tournaments. Like, it seems like it... Like, I'm not saying my build was particularly good. Like, we were trying to, like, kind of lean into the whole Jinzo of it all. But I feel like just machines in general do have a lot of really cool tools to be able to deal with a lot of things. Is this better than Cyber Dragons? Ooh, I don't know about that. But as we've seen, Konami keeps putting out more and more of these monsters that just let them special summon themselves, such as Jinzo the Machine Menace, such as the Lightning Bolt Condor support cards that we've been seeing. I think we've also been seeing like the Dark Sword Magician or Sword Dawn Magician from the Dark Spellcasters. We're getting a lot more of these boss monsters that are just like, oh, I just summon myself, don't worry about it. And it's just like, oh, okay. No, in Rush Duel, you're supposed to tribute to, right? Getting out just a 2,500 body for free, that's a little bit unfair. So yeah, it's a cool one. I think that, again, I'm not sure if I was running too many traps. The reason I wanted to be on so many traps is because both Machine Inspector needs you to get, in order to get the draw, you need to mill a trap, which we didn't mill a trap with any of our Machine Inspectors, which is a little bit sad. And in order to get the special summon off of Machine Menace, we also need to have a trap in our graveyard. So we were on kind of a trap-heavy deck. Although, I gotta say, playing this game, it didn't feel like it. I don't think I ever had more than one trap card down at a time, which is a bit of a shame, because I think we're playing like 7 or 8.
Oh.
But yeah, that's just how it goes, right? But either way, It was a pretty cool game. I did enjoy it. I think, like last week, I'm looking forward to the next time I play Jinzo, and hopefully it doesn't go as badly. But yeah, GG, buddy.
GG.